Hi, I'm Becky. Welcome to Southern Spoonful, and welcome to my friends at the Roanoker magazine. We today are celebrating summer with salsa. This is a molcajete, and it is a Mexican mortar and pestle that I have some roasted red summer tomatoes in my molcajete. And what I've done to get the peeling off the tomatoes is just to char them under the broiler, and the peels will come right off. This is a very simple salsa, but it is full of fresh summer flavor. I also am going to add a few pieces of garlic, cloves of garlic that I also charred with my tomatoes in the oven under the broiler. So I'm just it's a mortar and pestle basically, and I'm gonna take my pestle and break up the garlic with the tomatoes. Then I'm gonna add some fresh cilantro, just roughly chopped, and some onion, just some white onion, a little bit of salt, and I like to use peg salt, which is made in Stanton, Virginia. It's local, and you can buy this at Wine Gourmet. So I'm just going to mash my tomatoes with my cilantro and onion and garlic, and it's amazing how simple this is and how refreshing the tastes are. So you could make this evening and serve it with some tortilla chips or some crudité and maybe some fresh guacamole, which is also very easy to make, and you'd have a party waiting for you right there on your patio. I'm going to add a tiny bit of sugar, and sugar helps to take out any bitterness of the tomato. And it's starting to look like the fresh salsa that we love to buy in the grocery store, but we can make it on our own just as easily. A little bit of lime juice to add some tartness to the salsa, and your salsa is all ready to serve. I'm going to try one little bite with a tortilla chip, and I know it's going to be delicious, and it is. Can't wait for you to try this fresh salsa. I can't wait to show you how I make my grilled chicken quesadillas. The sauce is what makes these quesadillas so tasty. And I use a poblano pepper in the sauce. And I'm going to show you how to peel a poblano pepper. This is a raw poblano pepper. Then this is a roasted poblano pepper. And as you can tell, it's charred on all sides. I just put it under the broiler and turn it after I prick it a few times with a fork so that it won't actually explode in the oven. But it's charred on all sides. And then I put it in the brown paper bag. And like I've said, save your brown paper bags this summer because there's all kinds of ways to use brown paper bags. And I put it in the brown paper bag, the charred pepper, and then I seal it and it steams the pepper so that it peels very easily. And as you can tell, the peel has all come off very easily of this beautiful pepper. Then I slice it take the stem out and all the seeds. So this gives a beautiful pepper flavor to my Queso Blanco Salsa, which will go in the grilled chicken quesadilla. So I'll add my peppers to my blender. Then I'll add some half and half, some onion, which I sauteed a little bit in butter before adding it to my salsa, a little bit of salt, some cream cheese, and some charred tomatoes. Just like we did in the salsa, the charred tomatoes, you just put them under the broiler and then the skin will fall right off. So we'll cover the blender. and give it a good blend. The tomatoes in the Queso Blanco give it a little bit of a rosa shade to it, a little bit of a pink tint. And that is a lovely Queso Blanco that will go onto our grilled chicken quesadilla. Agua Fresca means fresh water. And this is a wonderful watermelon lime agua fresca that you can make and keep in your freezer. You can take it to the lake, or the children will enjoy it after playing outside when it's all nice and hot in the summer. So I'm adding watermelon to my blender, some agave nectar, and some lime juice to my watermelon. I love fresh watermelon in the summer. It's so refreshing. Put it in my blender, and I'm going to blend it. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of water and some ice. And that will liquefy all the ingredients. So I will pour it into my glass. To garnish with a little mint leaf. And that is a very refreshing watermelon lime agua fresca. So easy to make, and you can keep it in your freezer for those really hot summer days. It's so refreshing. Grilled chicken quesadillas with my special Queso Blanco sauce. I'm going to spread the sauce on my burrito-sized tortillas. This gives it so much of that nice peppery flavor, creamy flavor. And I'm going to add the chicken, which I grilled with a tahini seasoning, which is a pepper and lime seasoning, which is wonderful for so many different dishes. So I'll put my chicken on my quesadilla, on my tortilla, and then I will put Monterey Jack cheese on top, make it nice and creamy. I love quesadillas, especially in the summer. They're so much fun to make for a quick lunch or a lovely dinner. Then I'll simply put my quesadilla on my cast iron pan, which I put a little bit of vegetable oil on the pan, and I let that heat so it melts the cheese. And it's easy to check and see how the quesadilla is doing. It should turn nice and brown and crispy on the bottom. And the cheese will melt inside. Now it's nice and brown on one side. I'll get the other side nice and brown and crispy. And that's a beautiful crispy quesadilla. I like to cut my quesadilla with a pizza cutter to make nice little triangles. Perfect. This is something that the children and the young at heart will both enjoy. It's a lovely snack or addition to dinner. And the Queso Blanco sauce has such a nice peppery, creamy flavor. I know you're going to love these chicken quesadillas. Mango salsa is one of my favorite salsas. It's a fruit salsa made with fresh mangoes. And I make mine with champagne mangoes. And champagne mangoes definitely live up to their name. There's something really to celebrate because their pit is less fibrous and they ripen very nicely and they peel so nicely. I am using a peeler from Ladles and Linens called a Dreamform peeler. And this little peeler, every time you close it, it sharpens. So you have a nice sharp edge and it takes off just a little tiny peel, really thin, so you have lots of your mango to work with. Now, when you first buy them, they might not be quite right. So this summer, save all your paper bags because you're going to be using them for lots of different things in cooking. I put a banana in my paper bag with my mangoes, and in a couple days they were nice and ripe. So I'll just set my little mangoes over here while we make our mango salsa. And I have chopped mango that I'm going to put into my bowl, along with some nice red onion. And this is such a nice salsa to put on roast pork or serve with tortilla chips. Once you make it, you're going to want to make it all summer long. I'm going to add some jalapeno pepper, give it a nice little heat, and a little bit of salt. And then I'm going to add some honey. And the reason I add honey is that it adds to the sweetness of the mango, but also takes out any bitterness from the onion. And notice how the honey comes right out of the little dish. The reason for that is because I sprayed it with a little vegetable spray before I put it in my dish, and that way you don't have the honey sticking to everything. So I'll give it a little stir, and then a little lime juice for brightness. And that is very simply mango salsa. It is so wonderful, fresh tasting, fruity salsa, and I know you're going to love it. El Diablo is a cocktail that means the devil in Spanish. And so with a name like that, you know it's going to be a devilishly good drink. It has creme de cassis, or cassis liqueur, and this is a black currant liqueur, tequila, and fresh lime juice, and ginger beer to give it a little kick. Right on top. Such an easy and refreshing cocktail to make. You don't even need a cocktail shaker. And then to garnish, after I give it a little stir, blackberries and a lime wedge or a lime wheel. So that is the El Diablo cocktail. I'm going to take a little sip. I do love this cocktail. It is devilishly good. Enjoy. Cheers.